Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Relationships. Baby trapping is a horrible thing to do. Unless you have an out like a secret vasectomy, right? Well, this one's from user Not the Daddy 43. I'm not the baby daddy. Disclaimer, OP is not from the US and English is not his first language. This happened to me over the course of a few years. This is a throwaway and the story may turn out longer than I thought. The backstory. I have some buddies at work that like to go out with their significant others on double dates sometimes. I was invited on several occasions, but let them know I'm not currently dating. So what do? They get me a date, of course. It's a co-worker of buddy's significant other. We'll call her Alana. Alana was a very shy, quiet girl from a family that wasn't too strict or super religious. She seemed out of place at first, but looking back, I think she fit in with the crowd more than she let on. I won't give the SOs or buddies names because they are not relevant for most of the story, but they are important for how she and I met, and one or two other occasions. So us three couples went out. We hit it off and became friends fast by drinking the night away, and I end up kissing her and paying for a taxi to take her home. The scare. 6 months later, Alana and I are living together. She moved in with me, and we were great together. We didn't fight, and if we did, it was something silly that blew over seconds after it began. One night after we had done the deed, I looked down and noticed my condom broke. Panic mode engaged. I start freaking out and tell her what happened. She immediately calms me down and says she's on birth control. I get relieved, but then relief turns to surprise. She never mentioned this to me before, did she? She passes it off as something she mentioned to me, but I was too busy with Fallout New Vegas at the time. Yeah, this was around when that game came out. So I probably didn't notice her saying anything about birth control. Again, looking back, this should have been a red flag. I chalked it up to extra precautions on her part and felt really good about how well we worked together. She was being responsible for both of our sake. Birth control along with condoms can only make things extra safe, right? Nope. She gets sick a week later complaining that she is always in the bathroom and can't hold food down. Yeah, you know where this is going. Alana is pregnant. Now, I am usually a pretty calm guy, but man oh man was I flipping my ass. Not at her, mind you. I make pretty good money, enough for her to only work part-time and go to school. I don't go to school, I worked, and still do, but in a much higher position, in a trade career which I won't name for anonymity's sake. Babies change things though. That meant she would have to stop school, stay home for several months, and then full-time job. I wasn't worried about me, but her. I can manage, but she wanted to finish school and be stable enough so that if we ever decided to have kids, it wouldn't be in this kind of situation. Well, she ends up terminating the pregnancy, begs me not to tell her parents, who again are not super religious, but this is a big no-no for them. It took months of her talking to them and me courting her to let us live together. She and I were both 21 at the time. So, of course, I wasn't going to say anything. I was almost shocked at her decision. That's right, hers. I hoped she would get one for her sake, and mine in all honesty, but I would have stayed and raised that child with her through hard times because I loved her. For about 4 months, we barely spoke to each other. I thought things were over, but then one night, everything just magically went back to normal. I thought, yes, we are okay again. This was also a red flag, but in my excitement, I didn't see it as such. Now, having a big scare like that and knowing she was on birth control led me to the decision some of you may or may not cringe at. I got a vasectomy. Now, I went in for the consult with my primary care doctor and was referred to where I had it done. A week of ice and paid vacation. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, I saved some juice for later just in case. And although I should have, I didn't tell Alana. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the F? But honestly, she was on break at the time visiting family. I wanted to wait and let her know when she got home and not discuss it when her parents are around. Wasn't sure how they would react if they overheard. I'm sure you can see how much her family opinion matters, and that will come up later too. I was back at work on light duty and business picked up fast. I had no time to even text or call her letting her know I needed to talk to her about something important. By the time she got home, we both got so busy that I didn't even mention it. This may seem odd since it's a major game changer for a relationship, but I was also a young man whose life was, and still is mostly, full of constant go go go, work work work. Crap just vanishes in the cold storage sometimes. The heartbreak. Fast forward 2.5 years. I was promoted a few times, was high on life, loved my significant other, and we were thinking about getting married when she finished school. By this point, our relationship had progressed enough that we no longer used birth control pills or condoms. Now, she said she got an intrauterine device to prevent pregnancy. I thought that was odd at first, thinking about how I was snipped. Oh well, maybe she just wanted to be extra sure. Well, not so much. About midway through August 2014, she gets sick again. This time, we have no idea what she could have. I rush her to the ER and become that guy who took his significant other to the hospital to find out she is pregnant. Now, the first thing most of you guys probably think I did was scream, "F you," or "cheater." Nope, I just acted as surprised as she did. Told her it's fine, we can get through this, and I'm with her 100%. The truth. Now, state laws differ, and it may be very different for you guys, but here, unless the father signs a birth certificate himself in person, it doesn't count. I made sure. Because the first thing I did after getting some time alone from her was setting up an appointment with my company's attorney for a consult. He recommended me a good person to seek legal counsel in parental matters. A week and a half or so later, I meet him and made sure to ask if I have undeniable proof that I'm not the father, that I would have no responsibility for the baby or Alana according to our state laws. So, I had my assurances, and as far as she knew, it was probably mine, right? After all, we were not using any birth control at all. None. What about the IUD? Turns out she had scheduled the appointment, had it put in, but was removed because of complications that caused pain and swelling. She never said anything about this. Now, normally I leave her personal belongings alone. I trusted her and did not want to be the overbearing significant other that looks at your crap by accident. We both had our own phones, PCs, and tablets. So she didn't suspect a thing when I searched through literally, no joke guys, hundreds of emails of her. In those emails I found back and forth conversations setting up dates, times, and prices. That's right, she was effing for cash. Or so I thought. Turns out, she was actually effing for free, and selling meds that she stole from patients. The pregnancy termination she got was not the first. Oh, did I mention? She was in school to become a registered nurse. She would sneak meds any way she could. She would take them from old people, young people, cancer patients, you name it. She was a sneaky effer too. She hid all of this from me and her teachers, as well as her parents. Her biggest supply was using people she had previously effed or sold to. She would have them get hurt, or help them get hurt, and then get them a prescription for pain pills. The revenge. I hope you guys stuck it out. For the entire time of her pregnancy, I said nothing. To her, her parents, her friends, or her teachers. She was close to graduating and close to being a mom. Life looked wonderful and she was happy. Everything was going great. Well, I got an apartment and paid rent for it secretly. The place we lived was in her parents' name. Reason being, at any moment's notice, they wanted to be able to kick me out if I did anything to wrong their daughter. This turned out to be an amazing blessing. I then started selling my stuff to build up a baby fund, but was really moving them to my new place. She thought I was crazy when I sold my gaming rig, laptop and Xbox. I said, it's all for our baby. Now, this next part was risky, but I had no choice. I needed some help. I talked to the buddy who introduced me to her. Remember, Alana was his significant other's co-worker when we met. They will be B and SO. B had left the company I worked for, so this would not negatively affect him in any way. I needed more information on Alana's part-time job so that I could truly get her. SO was her boss, but was clueless to what Alana had done because she was great at keeping up appearances, not just to them, but to anyone she would meet. To this day, I kind of admire her ninja ability, but it's also why I have no regrets or guilt. I told them everything, showed them everything. B and SO were shocked, sad and sorry for me, sorry for her, then effing furious with her. How dare she manipulate them like this? SO stated things going missing from the workplace, cash drawers short, but Alana was always covered some kind of way. She always had an alibi. She had been framing people and was just very careful and calculating in her plans. Esot said she, in all honesty, never looked real hard at her either. Her facade had everyone fooled. Well, lucky for me, SO said that during Alana's maternity leave, security cameras had been replaced with ones that had a much better quality. Our plan was set and moving forward. Then comes the week that she is due. She is wheeled into the hospital and stays for 3 nights before she gives birth to a baby boy. I have no problems with the child, as you will soon find out, but at the time he was a symbol of misplaced trust and a broken heart. They have to take the baby away after a few minutes. He had jaundice, and although he seemed fine, they wanted to double check to make sure. She reluctantly let him go. Alana then says to me, "What should we name our son?" I tell you, readers, I must have looked like the cat from Alice. I sure felt like I was. I reply, "Our? You mean yours?" Whatever color she had left drains away, and she stammers to speak before I put my hand up and tell her, "I got snipped 6 months after we started dating." Her face seemed to cave in and drop on the floor. I continue, "That confirms to me that the baby is only your baby. Not our baby, but yours and yours alone. Alone." Her response? Tears. Nothing but tears. I told her that she was never to speak to me again and walked out. I told the medical staff that under no circumstances was my name to be on that certificate. I was a concerned former boyfriend that she cheated on, and she was a junkie. Lab reports on the cord blood unfortunately later showed this to be true, but the baby was fine. Smiley face. And that I was only here to make sure her baby was alright. I was not to be contacted, and if she says I'm her boyfriend, don't believe her. If I needed to prove that to them, I would. I left, packed my crap, and went to my new apartment. Pro-revenge. I know what you're thinking. That was not really that harsh at all. I didn't think so either, so I waited until she was back at home. I left my keys and $400 in an envelope at her place so that she had some money when she was out, and also to bait her. I knew that she would either A. Buy some more pills, B. Try to sell her busted scooter, C. Maybe, just maybe, get her crap together and fix herself, D. Cry to mommy, work, and school. I'll take A, B, and D for $400, Alex. That's right, she did all 3. Now, I know at this point I'm okay on the work front. I'm also okay on the parent situation. The moment she was released, her parents picked her up because I wasn't there. She called them, complained, and told them everything. I was going to be thrown out. But what's this? I'm not there. She was probably upset she didn't get the joy of kicking me to the curb. Instead, there was an envelope for her with $400 and the keys. I don't know what went through her head, but not before long, she was already back into her normal routine. She must have thought I skipped town completely. Calling my work leads her to a "he's not here," they were informed. Asking SO leads to B hasn't heard from him. She thought she was off the hook, with one baby and nothing else. A while later, she gets fired. Security footage shows her manipulating drawers and framing other employees. She tells her parents it wasn't her. They believe her. Next, her school gets a big package from an anonymous source letting them know she was recently fired for stealing and drug use. Now, I'm not sure how she got through school and the hospital without the drugs in her system popping a red flag. I know they tested the cord blood from the baby, and I specifically stated she was a junkie. I never dug into it, probably should have. Her school has zero tolerance policy against drug use. The package also contained the emails, as well as messages to and from buyers, sellers, and anyone else she did shady crap with. Did I mention that the hospital she worked at also got a package? And the police? Her parents disowned her, she was fired, expelled, and CPS was on her case. To wrap it up, she lost everything, including the baby. He's fine now though. His real dad was found. She basically went back and looked for anyone that could have possibly been the father at that point in time. Kinda impressive considering how many they were. The guy was 29. We'll call him D. He had been divorced and was lonely. I understand he had a great house and income, so he was given custody after a paternity test. Best part? The other couple we were with on that first date? Well, she effed that guy too. That's right, he's actually still at my company too. I remember when he went through the divorce. I didn't talk to him much, so I had no idea he banged her. It only took one time. She never told anyone she was sleeping with that she was in a relationship with me. So he had no idea we were dating. He didn't talk with me enough, and I was in a different part of the workplace at that point. So in the end, she has no home, no friends, no job, no career, a rap sheet, and now her kid is with his dad and she gets 0 visits. I'm single, still hang out with her parents, SO and D. Have my job, my apartment, and best of all, I'm not the baby daddy. Wow, OP, that is one hell of a ride you went through. She had everyone fooled that she was this perfect person who went to school and had a job and a boyfriend and everything, when really she was just sleeping around, stealing cash from her job, and running a drug scam. What a piece of work. Now, considering you dodged a huge bullet, you're not so much better yourself. You should have come clean about your vasectomy, or at least you should have spoken with her about it, right? If you're in a relationship and you see some kind of a future, then getting a vasectomy is something that you discuss with your partner before you go ahead and do it. At least, that's what I think. So even though here you have a great revenge story, and again, you dodged a huge bullet, I don't agree with not telling her about the vasectomy. And this is kind of like an edge case. What do you guys think? I know OP dodged a bullet, but was it right for him to keep this vasectomy thing a secret? Let me know in the comment section. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and click like. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Also, here are more videos from my channel that you might enjoy. And having said all that, I will see you guys on the next video.